I'm about to get up and run around because I'm so like on fire that you're bringing this information to people listening, because our friend Laura was on before you, and she was, and actually, Doug, I do want to have this conversation with you in the future.
Sure.
Because I want to say to women who are the adulterous, the ones who are the ones having the affair with the married man.
I have a book on that called She Has a Secret, and the workbook, and I have treated female sex. I was the first person
for
to
the girl, the actual adulteress?
Yeah, I'm the first person, male or female, that wrote a book on female sex addiction that has statistics in it. 40 women joined me in the writing. And yeah, I mean, I've written a book called She Has a Secret. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. I looked at, and I told my team, I looked straight into the camera because Laura was just in tears and she was shaking, and because she's recalling that trauma, right?
Sure.
And I looked into the camera and I said, for those of you who think it's okay to be engaged or in an affair with a married man, I want you to look at the fallout, because Laura had just described her children's trauma, her children being in rehab, in counseling, and one of them had to go to actual center. Like that, she was describing all this stuff, and I looked at the camera and I said, for anyone thinks that it's really like luscious and it's sensual to be having an affair with a married man, look at the fallout behind that.
But you're talking to a 14-year-old woman.
That's right. But here's the thing. I told my team, I want to turn this around for women who have actually been the adulteress and say, why are you allowing yourself to be second? Okay. And so I want to speak to that, because
I can answer that question.
I don't want to condemn, and I don't want to.
No. 80% of them have been sexually abused.
That's right. Because I worked in sex trafficking for 10 years.
So 80% have been sexually abused. That's one. 90% come from dysfunctional families where they were not affirmed or loved or cared for. Okay. And their way of dealing with pain was seduction and sexuality.
That's right.
Okay?
Come on, that's right.
And so I have a whole DVD called Intrigue Addiction. They usually start with that. Hey, don't I look cute? Look at my boobs. Look at my butt. Look, hey, maybe I'm hot, right? Just give me attention, right? But then it moves to, hey, I'm getting energy back. And that's where it can start getting dangerous. Online is even worse, because you're like, oh, it's not going to affect me. Many of the women who had affairs, I'm talking like pastors' wives and elders and, those kind of people, started with kind of the small, but it builds, right? And so like any addiction, it can get out of control. And I've had women heal and get better, and they can, but it's a very similar process because they see people as objects. So I think it's in the Forgiveness for Everyone book, but if not, it's in one book. I'm writing a book right now. I know it's in there, but I think it's in there. But I talk about the difference between object operating systems and relational operating systems. Now, this won't make sense for half of you. Most women are actually relational operating systems. They are, there's 3 points to that. People have value innately. All right. So you don't want to hurt or lie or do things. Okay. There are laws and there are consequences. And you should stay within those bounds. And if you don't, you expect to be spanked somehow. Right. That's relational reality. That's where some people live. And then there's object reality. This is usually from brokenness. And it goes like this. People do not have value. So I can lie, cheat, steal, malign. I could be one of those critics online and have no conscience about it. Right?
Yeah, right.
There are no rules.
Right. There are no rules. I should
have no consequences.
Right.
And how you know if you're in an operating system is someone gives you a consequence and you look like a 2-year-old.
And then you act, what? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So so people have 2 different operating systems, and they're both humans, but they have different programs. And so a woman like that is in an object relationship program. And so she's looking just to get her needs met, and he has no value to her either. The man she's cheating with has no value to her. Right. Right. She has no value to herself, actually. But so, yeah, women, there's actually help for them. I've helped many of them over my career.
What about the ones that are addicted to the forbidden love? So they're the woman who's having the affair with a married man. Like they're not married. They're just the ones who constantly go for married men.
Well,
then believe when they say, I'm going to leave her because we're going to be together forever. Like that drives me nuts.
But there's a couple things there is, one lane of thought would be, I am attracted to married men because they will never require all of me.
Oh my gosh.
And a real man will.
Wow.
He'll require all of my spirit, all of my soul, all of my body. He will require 100%, and I don't want to give 100%. So I can give 20% to this guy and just have sex with him. He's happy, I'm happy, no losers, right? So I know it's insane. Okay, but some women don't want intimacy. See, that's a problem with women. All women think women are on the relational operating system, and some aren't. Okay, they don't want intimacy any more than you want bad things to happen to you.
Right.
They don't see intimacy as good. They see it as something to be afraid of. To be known is to be feared in that system. Okay, where in the relational, to be known is to be loved. Right.
So if there's a married man right now listening, and he's in an affair with a woman who's not married, she's just that one you just described, what would you say to him? Like in that
it's already
specific
been said
space.
to him that he's willing to use a woman for sex. He's willing to use a wife for image.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So nobody in this system that he's created has value.
Wow. That's powerful.
So that man has multiple addictions or mental health issues or brokenness that he needs to heal so that souls have value. So that you love your wife enough to go, you know what? Even though this is an opportunity, okay, I'm not ugly, all right? There's opportunity. But I really love my wife, Joni, and I don't want to break her heart because she has value to me.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So this fruit doesn't look good because it's not good.
Right.
And also I've sat across the room for 40 years of guys who committed adultery, and they've convinced me beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's no good thing that comes out of it.
There's never.
I've never had one man in 40 years, I'm talking 5,000 men, say, I would do that again.
Yeah.
Not
never,
one.
Never.
So I am pretty convinced that it's not a good idea to do that.
Yeah, and I love what you said earlier, because a lot of the women I've ministered to, they would see a picture of the mistress or the other woman.
Don't go online and do that.
Well, they would go, God, she's so ugly. That makes me feel worse. And I'm like, but he wasn't going to her because she was prettier than you.
Opportunity only. It doesn't matter what she looks like because he's after opportunity, not person. So she might be 100 pounds heavier than you, but she's willing. She might be 100 pounds skinnier than you, but she's willing. She might be a different race, but she's willing. Willing is what he's attracted to.
Wow.
He's looking for a victim who's willing. He doesn't care what she looks like.
Wow.
Okay.
That's so good.
And so women, sometimes they go online, they oh my gosh, she's taller. Okay. But women, here is one of a flaw that I've seen in women in general. It's because men don't have it. Okay. When men walk into the room, they always find out how they're better than every man in the room.
See, my husband has told me this before.
I have more hair. I'm richer. I'm smarter. My skin's better. I can bench press more than you. Whatever it is, it might be a very small thing, like I pay my taxes, but they figure it out. Okay? Women walk into the same room and they find out why they are less than every woman in the room.
Oh my God,
I'm smaller. I'm dumber. My hair is bad today. My shoes are not as good. My nose is crooked. Like, it's women. There's some kind of systemic flaw there.
So funny.
But
so true.
You know what I'm saying? So you take that and then you take betrayal. And now all of a sudden, because women compare themselves all the time, now that comparison becomes almost compulsive because I want to know what he found in her that was better than me. And it's not better. She was just willing. The guy would walk into McDonald's and do McDonald's, or he'd walk into, a country club and do someone in a country club. It's not the where or the who. It's willingness is the only attraction. Because I've had guys explain to me the 7 or 8 or 10 women they've had affairs with. The only thing in common was willing.
That's right.
Because one was 21, one was 42. One was tall, one was short. It's willingness. Willingness is the attraction, because in pornography, the woman's willing.
Speak to what you just said about he chose her because she was willing.
Right.
Because I think women need to get that in their head, like the wife.
Sure.
Like he chose her because she was willing. Like speak to that, because I think what women would hear is she was willing to do what? Have more sex? She was willing to...
Well, she was willing to exchange... to make it an exchange.
What does that mean?
Like when you buy a blouse, you exchange money for the blouse. She was willing to make an exchange. So she's thinking, well, I will exchange my body or time or affection for either the possibility of being loved or just sex or the intrigue of being attracted to somebody or just having whatever she was exchanging for. Only she would know what that was. But it's not like the man sits down and go, oh, I want to go find someone else to love, because honestly, he's not looking for love. Okay?
No, he's not.
If he was looking for love, he would divorce you.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
That's how you know a man's looking for love.
That's right.
Because he knows that he's not going to have. So if he's looking for lust, intrigue, fantasy, fun, sex, whatever, he's looking for someone to exchange services. And so it's not necessarily economic, but sometimes it is. But she's getting some, plugs out of because she's sleeping with the CEO or she's sleeping with the pastor, and wow, I must be hot, right? And so there's an exchange, whether it's emotional, psychological, physical, because some people, they don't want to have a relationship, but they want to have sex. Okay, so there's a portion of people, so that puts them in the marketplace to find people to have sex with without relationship.
Right.
So married people are the best because they don't want to have a relationship; they just want to have sex. So they're actually, some married men and women are targeted by those people who want to just have that.
Oh yeah.
And I had a really dear friend of mine over 20 years ago, and in ministry, and their daughter was beautiful and precious, and there was someone in that ministry who worked her, and she was married, and they had a sexual relationship. She got pregnant.
Oh gosh.
Right. But when I went through the story, he perped her. Like, he totally systemically perped her into the relationship.
Wow.
Okay. And yes, she's responsible for her decision, but man, he worked her.
Wow.
Okay.
And then, and there's experts.
There's a baby from this, right? So It went on and on. But the husband stayed with her, and they lived happily ever after they did the work. So
wow. And so if if women are listening, or let's talk to men are listening, and they're like, man, I am that guy. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've had the affairs. I'm in one right now. I don't even know where to begin.
I would do the same exact thing we talked about with the women. Number one, get informed. I'd get the book Final Freedom. I would make a phone call to Heart, 719-278-3708. Talk to a counselor. Tell them your story so that you can create a plan to safely tell your wife.
That's good.
Okay. Now, if a man comes home and says, listen, we're struggling with the marriage. Let's go do 5 days with this marriage intensive. She's going to come along.
Yes, right. Mm-hmm.
And then he can even disclose it there, and then take the polygraph to verify that he told the whole truth.
Wow. Okay.
Because once you open this door to a woman, let's suppose you do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. At 2 a.m., you're still talking.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So if you tell her the story and you do a polygraph an hour later, she doesn't need to ask you 1,000 more questions.
That's good. Yeah, that's right.
Plus, because she's not believing your answers anyway.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So all the 12 hours you talk, you just lose, right?
Right.
Because she has very specific questions. Did you stop communicating with her? Is the porn out? Do you have any access to porn? Like, et cetera, whatever her questions might be. Mm-hmm. And without verification, she's going to keep asking them and keep asking them and keep asking them and keep asking them.